2,000 calories a day is keeping that V taper away, my boy. I'm gonna tell you right now. Like, I mean, I know all the studies say 2,000 calories for a grown man, you need it. But when I eat 2,000 calories a day, even if I'm tracking the macros and the micros, I'm fat. I got a gut, I look swollen, look like a whale, got titties and shit. Somebody lying. You know what I mean? I eat 15 to 1,800, right? I'm lean than a bean. You know what I mean? I didn't lose all my muscles, right? I'm still muscular, you know what I mean? And I got striations, you know, I see definition. You see separation, broad shoulders, V taper, you know what I mean? Got damn near an 8 pack, right? And I just recently really started kind of focusing on abs. Most of my years I've been training, I have not like isolated the abs. And then when I finally started to, they even started to pop even more. But really getting that body fat percentage down is what makes those abs really pop out. Of course, they're a muscle, so if you train them, they can grow and gain more size and definition, right? But some of the other exercises, like front squats, will put a lot of load on your core because you have to stay more upright, not to drop the bar on yourself. And that really forces your core to do a lot more work than if the bar's on your back. And your back can kind of take over and your posterior chain can do more work, even though the core still is engaged, right? But all those excess calories I've found are not necessary. The body just needs what it needs. And we're supposed to be the most intelligent creatures on the earth. We do spend a lot of time, in spite of that, trying to figure out what we should be eating, how much we should be eating. And I just think the body is intelligent. And it's really important to learn about things like your macros and your micros, to know what vitamins and minerals the body needs that are really important, especially for men. Like a lot of us are deficient in zinc, right? Zinc will get those morning woods popping back up again, right? It'll get that you'll feel more vigorous, right? If those levels start to drop, you may see some decline in your performance, right? Different, and that's just one example of how becoming mineral deficient can affect performance and how your body looks and feels. And but so getting high quality nutrients, nutrient dense foods. I primarily eat lean red meats, eggs, bacon. I like bacon. Butter, sweet potatoes, bananas, pistachios, almonds. That's pretty much the mainstay of my diet. Those things right there, and bread. I like bread, right? But I'm pretty much that's all that I'm eating for the most part. Right? It's boring, but it's effective and it's optimal. Right? I'm able to build muscle and keep like the processed refined carbohydrates to a minimum. I don't completely eliminate them, but I use better carbohydrates like sweet potatoes. I like banana. It's a great carb source, especially before I'm going to do something athletic like play basketball or have a really intense weightlifting session. Right. So, but the quantity of these things, I've counted calories, and I remember thinking to myself like what kind of calories is everyone else counting? Because when I take that same amount of food and I count the calories up, it don't add up to all of that. Like 2,000, that's a lot every single day. And once I just stopped doing that, people look at me now, especially like my peers or people who knew me from the past, and they're just like amazed at how lean that I am. And people that I've had multiple people tell me it's like you're aging in reverse, and I feel that way. I can dunk a basketball. I'm 44. I couldn't dunk at 18, 21, 25, 30. I didn't even start really jumping like, oh, I think I can do this until I was like 33. And I started getting over the rim. And it was different. People was looking at me like, oh my God, it must be good to be young. And I asked, well, how old are you? And they'd be like, oh, I'm 33, I'm 34. I'd be like, bro, I'm in my 30s too, dog. And they'd be just. And it's funny because sometimes guys will get mad, like, like, because they'll realize, like, well, damn, like, they were over there sulking, and it really like puts a mirror up to the fact that, hey, you may be slacking, dog. Like, your prime is nowhere near its end, and you just mentally checked out. And that's why you're in here moping around, not because you're actually old. Because the body's resilient. If you just keep moving it, it doesn't really lose its abilities. You can keep improving a lot longer than you think you can, especially if you're staying lean, right? And you're eating optimal whole foods, and you have optimal nutrition. You can perform optimally, right? I found I don't now depriving yourself and not eating enough can be detrimental. Yes, you can lose muscle, you'll get weaker, you're more susceptible to injuries, but you just need enough, right? Now, training modality is important, and I'm gonna make another video about this to go more in depth because you have to know what you're training for. A lot of guys, there's confusion because they really kind of are trying to train like a bodybuilder, but they want to look like an athlete. You know what I mean? And so they're doing all this excess bulking and cutting and bulking and cutting. And I don't really do the bulk cut thing. I tried it before because I've studied the bodybuilding modality, but I don't like bulking and cutting. And I don't think that it's necessary to do extreme bulking and cutting to build muscle, have a muscular physique, right? And if you look at most of the guys who are natural, it's not like they're putting on just ridiculous amounts of more muscle as they get older and older and older. But they do have impressive physiques, and they may be putting on small incremental amounts over the years. But like most of these guys aren't humongous, right? And to be something like Kai Green, I mean, this guy, your job is just to eat all day. That's all you do is eat. How you gonna, most of these guys are like 6 feet and under. How you think they can weigh 260 plus? They got to eat all day. You got to be doing a lot of eating to maintain that sort of body weight, right? And be lean. Like the drugs help, right? But if you look at a guy like Aaron Donald's only like 6 feet tall, and he's damn near 300 pounds, but he's a pretty lean guy. But he doesn't look like, Ronnie Coleman, Jay Cutler, Phil Heath. He's not all striated and vascular and all veiny at that weight like those guys are, because they're using the drugs, obviously, right? But for the average person who's 6 feet and under, especially, like eating all those calories is just going to lead to you gaining excess weight. You're never going to be able to get that six pack and flatten that stomach out. And you're always going to be wondering, why can't I get rid of this? It's just because you're eating just too much food. It just is what it is. Now, however you want to get your calories in, you want to spread them out into 3 meals, you want to, whatever the case is, that's your prerogative. I just tend to like to eat fewer meals and spike my insulin less and give my body more time to digest. I found that the body digests better when I eat 2 meals versus just 1, right? And it gives a little more, because when you turn your digestive system off for longer periods of time, it can get a little sluggish. And then when you try to turn it back on and get all of those calories in at once, that can sometimes not be the most comfortable thing on your stomach. So breaking it up where you have, maybe 300 or 400 calories in the morning, and then eat the rest of it, in the evening. It is a good strategy that I've been using and that has been very effective for me. And I have had periods where I completely cut out the morning meal and just ate 1 meal a day for a good period of time, especially when I was trying to get all the fat off my body and find out how much food do I actually need, right? Because it's like there can be a lot of marketing towards us just to get us to purchase things. So it's like, well, how much food I really need to be buying? Let me really find out. And I found that I didn't need anywhere near as much food as I thought I did, right? And we're creatures of habit, so just eating more food can sometimes make you just want to eat more food, because now you're in the habit. Not that you necessarily are hungry and need to. So learning how to feel ghrelin come in my stomach and not eat anything, and then the ghrelin goes away. And the only reason it came up frequently was because it was programmed with the habit of putting food in there, so it thinks, hey, we every 2 or 3 hours we need to get this going because something's going to come. But then when you stop that process still goes off, even though you're not putting nothing in there. It's uncomfortable. People may confuse that with hunger when it may just be a craving, because you've programmed yourself to eat at certain time intervals, right? So learning the difference between that to know, oh, I'm not actually hungry, and then knowing how my body feels and being so tapped in that I know I really need nutrients right now, versus I'm really just kind of craving some sugar. And if I just ate like 3 or 4 gummy bears or something like that, I ain't even really hungry, right? I just wanted to taste some sugar. If I just took, 4 ounces of apple juice and drunk that, like I probably would feel like I ate a whole meal, right? Because I wasn't really hungry. I was just craving sugar. Most of the time, it's what we're craving. A lot of times, we'd be sugar detoxing and be fiending, and be thinking I'm starving. Oh, you over there fiending? You know what I'm saying? So, 1 meal a day. I don't think it's a lifelong thing that I would, especially if you're trying to be athletic and train really hard. It's hard to do that. Not that it can't be done. It's just going to be uncomfortable to do all the time for your whole life. All right, so keep that. Experiment. Be your own scientist. Don't just take things you hear on the internet. Read the research papers for yourself. No, all these studies are not like completely infallible. Like some of these studies have flaws in them, and you're unique. So whatever your life is, however you're built, however you react to certain foods and things like that are going to affect what's going to work best for you. What training modality do you want to tap into to get the body you're looking for, right? People who are 100-meter sprinters, I rarely see 100-meter sprinters who don't look lean and muscular, right? It's just very rare, right? Versus like a long distance runner who's running a marathon, right? They might look like skin and bones, like they're malnourished. They don't look very powerful. So I wouldn't want to spend a lot of time doing a bunch of endurance work because my body's going to look like that. And I'm not interested in that. I want to be explosive. I want to dunk basketballs and run fast and sprint and run 4.40s. You know what I'm saying? I want to be able to be formidable if I'm fighting, if I'm boxing, if I'm doing mixed martial arts or something like that. I weigh about $190, really only eating about once or twice a day most days. Yeah. And I'm able to maintain a pretty muscular, lean physique at that weight, eating less than 2,000 calories a day. And maybe on another video, if you're interested, I'll go more deeper into my own personal macros and micros. And, drop in the comments, how many calories do you guys eat a day? Do you find that eating, like you feel like you need to eat 2,000 calories a day? Or you feel weaker in the gym? Or you don't feel like your prowess is at its fullness? Or do you feel like you're like me and you just get fat doing that, right? Or so drop a comment. If you like the content, hit the like button, subscribe, man. We'll holler at y'all. Look out for the video I got coming up next. It's going to go deeper into training modalities and how that can actually slow you down to getting leaner or getting the physique that you want, building more muscle if you don't really know which modality you're really trying to tap into, or even how to understand all of them to merge them together, right? Because there's different ones like Olympic weightlifting, powerlifting, bodybuilding, athletic training, sprint training, plyometric training, playing sports, right? There's different things that you can do to obtain a muscular, lean-looking athletic body. And you may be focusing on bodybuilding parameters and you're not including enough athletic parameters to be well-rounded, right? Where you may need to be running and sprinting and jumping because that's what our bodies were designed to do. And if you just completely exclude that and just lift weights and walk on a treadmill, you may look like, and if you're natural, you can still build a good looking physique, but is it the one that you're looking for, right? Because you may want to have, because I've noticed guys who just lift weights and they don't run and jump, you can kind of tell, you know what I mean? Like Jay-Z has a line where he says, I walk like a ball player. You know what I'm saying? Like there's more fluidity to the way you move and to the way your muscles look when you can move, right? When you're guys who don't move and all they do is just, pick it up and put it down, they kind of look like that, you know what I mean? So, but I'm going to go deeper into that on the next video, but until then, peace.